with that being said, I do have Hendon Hooker above him. Not saying I think Hendon Hooker will go in the top 10. I think with the torn ACL and him being 25 years old, I don't really see it there. But I do have Hendon Hooker above Anthony Richardson right now.
And I think it's because, like you said, you preference that as more pro ready right away.
Yeah.
To step in. Like if he went somewhere day 3 and we had situations where quarterbacks get hurt, someone gets hurt, hey, we can turn to Hendon and just let him just manage the game, manage the offense.
Well, with that said, I love Hendon Hooker's skill set, though. And I love it post-torn ACL, too. I'm not all that concerned about that. In today's day and age, we're seeing more and more guys come back as strong, if not stronger, from torn ACL. So I'm not that concerned about that. And I really do. I like Hendon Hooker's game a lot. I think a lot of the traits that people are really high on Will Levis and Anthony Richards on, Hendon Hooker is 6'4" as well. Hendon Hooker is not a small quarterback by any means.
No.
Hendon Hooker is an athletic quarterback, a guy who can run. Had 25 career rushing touchdowns, spanning between Virginia Tech and Tennessee. Like I mentioned, spent 4 seasons at Virginia Tech and then 2 at Tennessee. An experienced guy, kind of the buzz that Kenny Pickett got last year. Started a lot of games, played a lot of games. Hendon Hooker, 8,974 career passing yards, 80 career touchdowns with a 67% career completion percentage. This year, before the ACL injury, 27 touchdowns and 2 interceptions in 11 games. I'm a big fan of him. I think he's underrated right now. We talked about it earlier in the show. Seattle in that second round range, if they're looking for a quarterback and Hendon Hooker is still there all day. I don't know if everyone's going to love this, but I've always thought that the Vikings should go and get a younger quarterback. I really liked it when the Vikings had Kellen Mond behind Kirk Cousins. If they're in the second round, if they want to move up in the second round to go get Hendon Hooker, I'm all aboard on that. Would love to see him working with Kevin O'Connell. And like I mentioned for Levis, the Rams would be another really good fit. If Matthew Stafford were to miss time, I mentioned it. I think Hendon Hooker is the 3rd most pro-ready quarterback in this draft class. I think that he could step in somewhere and contribute. So there's a lot of fits like that. I'm a big fan of Hendon Hooker. I'm not overly concerned about the torn ACL. Brandon Weeding got drafted at like 28 years old, so I'm not overly concerned.
Never forget.
So I'm not overly concerned about Hendon Hooker being 25 years old, especially in a league where you really only have 2 years to get it going anyway. Josh Rosen got a season, and Zach Wilson's 2 years in, and nobody's considering him as the Jets starting quarterback. So I'm not overly concerned about that.
Yeah, me either. So I think that's going to be one of the cases to watch for, because if we hear that his testing's going well, that the knee is good, the ACL, he could be a guy that slides back in on that day 2, right? Back in day 3, you hear Hendon Hooker, or he's getting picked up in round 4, open up day 3. I think he's going to be someone to watch out for, and someone that I think we're going to hear from, this summer, and hopefully, in the preseason when we get to see him